everybody, and welcome to Powerful Stuff. Powerful Stuff is your one-stop shop for inner and outer connection with a little bit of cheekiness, a little bit of lightness, because our self-development journey doesn't have to be so serious all the time, but it can be when need be. And I'm your host, Meredith Baker. I am a leadership coach. I love helping people connect to their power, connect to their inner confidence from the inside out, and to be guided from this unshakable place. And I'm also a facilitator and love helping people do this in large groups and community as well. So the podcast is kind of the hybrid offering where you can follow along on your own journey. And today we are going to be talking about a musing that I have found very powerful. I have to share with you guys my Burning Man musings. It would be remiss of me as a Venice girly if I did not. And the musing today is we cannot expect others to behave the way that we behave. And the other side of this coin is when you do what's best for you, you do what's best for everybody. And so, of course, I had a lot of, this is like so LA, girl goes to Burning Man of me, but we love it. I feel like Burning Man in so much funny ways is like its own little microcosm of a plant medicine journey, because there's just so much heightened energy, so many things going on, so many people there, so much expectation and build up to getting there that, you know, there's this expression, you get the burn you need, not the burn you want, you know, because it's like nothing's good or bad that happens there. You'll have peak experiences, but even the low experiences are like teaching you something, just as in life. So like the way you can have the most impactful or enjoyable burn is to surrender to all of it, to allow all of it, to not judge yourself for the things that didn't go your way, but to be like, what is the musing here? What is the learning? What is the lesson? So I'm going to share my experiences of these with you, and of course give you guys the know-how, the how-to of how to do it yourself. So I'll start with we've done some stuff on expectation before, right? And expectation, like God bless our souls, God bless our little hearts, like we all have it. And it can also be really painful and rob us of the present moment because we're so focused on what we wanted something to be that then we end up not enjoying it for what it actually is. And so where I got the, idea of we can't expect others to behave the way we would because that leads us to disappointment is this idea of like radical sovereignty. And at Burning Man, I had done an episode for Powerful Stuff before Burning Man of what to do when we need to surrender control, of wanting to leave for Burning Man at an earlier time to maximize time, and other people wanted to come later, and that's all good. And like, how could I surrender control to reconnect with the intention of just like connecting with the people that I'm going to Burning Man with, and like not getting caught up on like when I get there. And when I was at Burning Man, like other little instances happened where I was like going out of my way to try to make experiences like really, or to make sure like people were really looked after or okay. And while that's like beautiful and I was doing it from an unconditional place, I then found myself sometimes like wishing or hoping like people would go out of their way to do the same for me. And of course, so many people like contributed to my Burning Man experience and in the most beautiful way. But I noticed that like, if I had gone out of my way to like make someone else's plan nice, that I expected them to then want to follow my plan for like the next day or the next thing. And then if they did something on their own schedule, instead of like when I had requested or asked for it, I found myself still like trying to like make it right or combine kind of like their desires with mine versus just being like, okay, they made their choice and that's all good, like zero judgment. And by the way, like all of these are like, I want to preface this by saying I had an incredible Burning Man. I learned so much, and I fucking love all of the friends that I went with, all of the friends that I saw. These are like the deepest of rabbit hole musings that I'm sharing with you guys that will then zoom out to like larger life. But yeah, so all of that's to say, it's like I found myself like wanting to like add to other people's experiences. They still make their own choices because it is radical sovereignty. And like at Burning Man, as in life, like we should all check in and do what's best for us because that's best for everyone else. And kind of like that airplane quote, right? Like put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on other people. And I noticed that like then I would still try to like go along with the other person's plan or combine our plans. And then I started to feel resentful. And we feel resentful when we have like an unvocalized intention or an unvocalized boundary. So when I was noticing that these people are like, and it's not just one situation. It was like a bunch of like little micro moments in Burning Man, but we're like ultimately doing what they needed, which is all good. Like I could have then been empowered to be like, okay, I love that. You know what I need right now is to go do this, or what I want right now is to go do this. Like if you can come find me, great. No worries if not. But instead I found myself still trying to like a little bit of like maybe people pleasing or appeasing. And instead of actually giving them radical sovereignty, which would be like, I trust that they actually don't need me to make their plan incredible. They made these other choices by themselves. They're going to be just fine. And by giving them by internally giving them radical sovereignty, I would also give myself more freedom. And then it all works out best for all of us. And so this was like something I talked with my coach, Dan. Shout out, Dan, if you're listening, about after Burning Man, was this idea of like, I get upset when people don't act the way I like to the expectations I hold myself to. And so how I can get freedom in this musing, or like the freedom that can come on the other side of this, is like fully allowing that and allowing them to act how they're going to act with zero judgment, but then also letting that give me radical permission to do what I need to do for myself, to do what I want to do for myself. And like a positive example of this at Burning Man is when I went to the Taylor Swift party, and that was amazing. I was having so much fun dancing to Taylor Swift at Burning Man, and it's like a 3-hour long party. I went for an hour and a half with a few friends. We were having a lot of fun. And they were ready to go, fair enough. Like they are Swifties, but I would say like I probably have a higher Taylor Swift tolerance than most. And, most of the 98% of the ultra Swiftie population. But anyways, so they were like ready to go, fair enough. And I was almost like, should I go with them? But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to recommit. Because like one of my rules at Burning Man is linger longer, like really squeeze all the juice out of a situation, and don't leave fun for fun. I was having fun, so I shouldn't leave it. So I recommitted internally to staying. And right when I did that, like the two friends left, and then my husband showed up with my college roommate and her cousin, and we were all dancing, and we got on this art card and we were dancing, and I was like singing Taylor Swift's 10-minute version of All Too Well to the people below as if I was Taylor Swift. And then they like presented Swiftie of the Award, and they're like Swiftie of the Year award, and they're like, it goes to Meredith Baker, or not Meredith Baker, they're like, it goes to Meredith. And I was like, what? I got this award? How do these people even know my name? It turns out it was another Meredith. But then I hugged her and I gave her my Meredith Taylor Swift Eras Tour friendship bracelet that a friend had given me from the Eras Tour in Milan. And then my college roommate and her cousin and I like biked into Deep Playa and had like a beautiful sunset meditation. And it was like this perfect day where like each moment of it, I was exactly where I wanted to be. And it created so much magnetism around me. Like people came up to me after the party and they're like, you were the vibe, like this, like I loved like your energy during this party. And it was just such a positive version of the reminder of like not expecting others to do what I was going to do, and fully doing what I wanted to do and being where I wanted to be regardless of what other people were doing, and how that was magnetic. And that's like a source of my personal power. And of course the Taylor Swift example is just like a fun micro moment in contrast to the examples at Burning Man where I wasn't doing it, which the examples that I wasn't doing it, again, I want to like reiterate, like I fucking love my friends and love that they were doing what was best for them and had their boundaries and were tapped into their intuition. It was simply like my own internal learnings of how I could have responded, or the choices that I could have made that would have empowered me and led me to even deeper presence. So all of that's to say, it happened exactly as it was meant to. And even coming out of Burning Man, I, had like a situation with my husband and like some of our communication where I noticed it again showing up of like, oh, well, I would have spoken to him this way, and I would expect him to speak to me in this way, and then I feel like I need him to speak to me in this way. And of course, when we like need an apology or need something from somebody, and we're like demanding it, it makes them want to do it less. And so I realized, okay, I can't hold that expectation. I trust that we will work this out, but like we both need to process things in our own way for us to like, refill our own cup, recalibrate, and then come back together. And so it was like another kind of like lesson within, how you kind of need to like learn a lesson like back to back, like 2 or 3 times, like the same lesson in different situations in your life. So like that was me. And yeah, I kind of was relearning it with him of like, okay, I can't expect him to respond in the way that I want him to. I can communicate like what would feel good of how, like what would feel meaningful to me without putting any pressure on him or judgment. And then ultimately, like I can focus on doing what's best for me. One of my favorite quotes is like, when you're not sure what to do, invest in yourself. So like, I wasn't sure what to do. We were kind of at a gridlock in that particular communication instance, just in like communication styles around a certain thing. And so I was like, I'm going to see friends. I'm going to go to yoga. I'm going to go to the beach and do an ocean dip and like do all these things that like I know inner Meredith wants to do. And the more I focus on doing what I need to do and release the expectation of like how he'll respond or when he'll respond, it'll all work out. And it was like a much like initially like more uncomfortable thing to do because you like want it to like be a certain way or be like, do this. Nor did it feel genuine to do maybe like the thing that he wanted me to do. So by taking that time, doing what was best for me, it's like we've been able to come back together in such a more smooth way with so much more like perspective and understanding for each other, and in a very rational, like, hey, having time to think about it, having time to let the dust settle. This is where I see you were coming from. This is where I was coming from, versus like a charged kind of like feeling like one of us has to like, fess up or like apologize before we're ready or whatever it might be. So all of that's to say, guys, these are my musings, like, and we'll go through a few steps and a little meditation now to get there together. So as I kind of reiterated, we cannot expect other people to behave the way we will. So if you have a situation in mind, and it could be a larger situation, it could be smaller ones like Burning Man. Like I said, I'm so grateful that my lessons, like these lessons come from Burning Man. And I even wrote in my journal, like, I'm so grateful that these things happened the way they did, because what a great low stakes environment where I'm like still having so much fun. I'm still so grateful to be there with my friends. Like, what a great low stakes environment to be in, to learn these lessons. And like the brief moment of like learning this thing is like nothing in comparison to like the ripple effects it'll have in the rest of my life. So that's the great thing about like having these like ups or downs or musings. If you don't make them wrong or like shitty or like, oh man, I wish it happened this way, or I regret not doing this, then it all gets to be fuel for growth. And you can also like choose to make it valuable, like way more valuable in like the impact that it's going to have moving forward than like the brief moment of discomfort that it caused while it was happening. Okay, all of that's to say, dropping expectation of, how you expect others to be to you. Maybe it's like you feel this way in a friendship, or you feel that you communicate really well with, somebody in a relationship or somebody that you're seeing, but you don't feel like you're getting the same respect or not in the same way, or you've done a lot for somebody's, big life moment. You don't feel like they're doing the same for you or whatever it might be. So I would choose a moment, choose an instance, and then write out step 1 of just like write out what the expectations are. I expect them to do this. I expect them to do this. I expect that if they don't do this, it says this about our friendship. I expect this. I expect like that it has to happen this way or else. And then maybe even take it a step further of like, why do you expect it has to happen that way? Like, what does it mean about you or the other person if it doesn't happen that way, or if they don't do that thing? If they don't do it, then it'll mean, then the story I'm telling myself is that it means this. If they don't do that thing, the story I'm telling myself is that they don't value me in this way. And so just kind of doing an initial audit, if you will, around your expectations and like where they're coming from. And then behind the expectation, it's like acknowledging yourself, like step 2 of like, this is what, you know, like this is how I operate. This is the integrity I operate from. This is how I choose to show up. And I would almost write it like, I choose to do this, right? No one's forcing you to do it. Like other people can make their own choices, right? But it shows that radical sovereignty. I choose to show up in this way. I choose to do this. I choose to communicate with this person when X. I choose to like, go above and beyond for this thing. Doesn't mean that they have to make the same choice again. And then on the other side of step 2, I would write down like what you accept. I accept that they did what was best for them. I accept that they did this, and I accept that it made me sad. I accept that, like I wish, like part of me wishes that this thing happened. I accept that it didn't, right? Just go on a full acceptance rampage. You guys know I love acceptance rampages because it just like diffuses all of the resistance of reality, and we get to come back to center. And then afterward, after you've kind of done the audit of the expectation, right? You've acknowledged yourself and you've given an acceptance audit. Then I would come back to your intention behind all of it. So now that you've cleared all of it out of the way, what was your intention for the thing? For instance, with Burning Man and the examples where like maybe it didn't go exactly how I wanted, my intention was to connect and have fun with my friends. Well, could I still fulfill that? Like, even if they did something a certain way that I wish had gone differently? Yes. Could I reconnect to that intuition? Yes. Could I reconnect to connecting to myself? Yes. So like, what is your ultimate intention? And the intention is just like how you want to feel. And then maybe after you write out that intention, what are other ways that that could be fulfilled that are not the way that you expect without you trying to control? And when you tap into that, like that space of allowance, of allowing that intention to come from a different way, and it's not even to try to grasp these other ways, but like these are other ways it could come. I'm open to it unfolding differently. I've set this intention and I trust that like it'll be fulfilled. I don't know when. It might not be tonight. It'll be somehow, but I'll get exactly what I need. And so you set the intention and then you release it and you come back to trust. And it gives us so much more freedom to remove this expectation with friends. And it's also like important distinctions too. Like we can remove expectations. It's totally fine to voice an intention, but then without being pushy or needing the friend or the person to fulfill it, right? Like, hey, my intention for tonight is this. Is that something that's cool with you guys? And maybe they say yes, and that's great. Maybe they change their mind. And if they change their mind, you have full permission to change yours, like of what you want to do, or if that changes things for you. So it's just like basically communicating and checking in from there. Wow, wouldn't you know? I hope that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's like there's nothing wrong with vocalizing our intention. It's a distinction between intention and expectation. Intention is how we'd like something to feel. Expectation is controlling the way in which we want it to feel. And the expectation like leaves no room for magic. It like puts it in a stronghold, versus the intention is like setting the vibration, drop expectation, hold the vibration, as I like to say. And I've heard many times before. So when you set the intention, you're trusting in your heart, the heart of others, the free will of the universe, and then you're allowing yourself to be open and in full trust of the magic that can unfold around it, versus the expectation. It's almost like setting ourselves up for disappointment because it's not going to go in the way we want. Or if it does, we're so busy trying to control that it does that it's spending so much emotional capital and we can't even enjoy it, even if it does. So that's what I like to say, but God bless us. We all have expectation, and it's just also reminding ourselves, right? Checking in with our inner child. It's okay that you're having expectation. Like that makes sense. Like you want to have a good time. You put a lot of time into this, or you put a lot of time into Burning Man, Meredith. Like, and it'll all be okay. And you can reconnect to your intuition. And at any moment, you can make a new choice for what you do next. And so it's slowing the conversation down, as always. Reconnecting to your intuition, asking your inner self what you need, reminding yourself why it makes sense that you might be feeling that way, but that you're still going to be okay and that you've got you no matter what. And how powerful is that? And then as you do that, it circles it all back to that idea of when you do what's best for you, you do what's best for everybody. Okay, guys, that was fast and furious. We got some playa dust on ourselves from just like biking through all of these Burning Man musings. But yeah, TLDR, like radical sovereignty, trust people are like empowered to make their own choices. Allow yourself to be empowered to make your own choice. Allow yourself to be empowered to change your mind and just communicate with people from an open heart. And like, I love you, but I need to do this for myself right now. And it has nothing to do with my love for you. Or if they're telling you that, like, I get it. Go do what you need to do. I love you. I'll be here when you're ready to reconvene. And through this like openness and deep trust, like that's how like our relationships deepen. And that's how, yeah, we leave space for magic. Okay, so let's do a quick little medi to just seal this in. So taking a nice seat, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in. This time, let's like reach our arms up, stretch our arms, exhale, bringing it down through heart center and prayer. Second breath in, doing it again, breathing your arms up, lifting your spine, exhale, bringing all of that energy down your center line, centering you, grounding you. And third and deepest breath in, doing it one more time, reaching up even taller. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then down to your knees. And as you slow down your breath, imagine you're breathing out any remaining thoughts from your thinking mind. And then as you breathe them out from your thinking mind, coming into the part of your body that feels tense when you think about this expectation or what you're expecting of others, wherever this tension of this relationship or this situation, just breathing loving awareness into that space, noticing the texture of the knot or the tightness or whatever's coming up. Imagine breathing it with gold and light, breathing this love into it, allowing it to soften and expand. And as it softens and expands, imagine that it's like this dust storm of gold in between you and this other person, or things that you're not seeing clearly or felt like you haven't been able to see clearly in the situation. And imagine with the next few breaths that the dust settles, the golden dust settles, and you see the situation clearly for what it is. With no judgment. Maybe you see the other person in their truth, what they need, what's best for them. Maybe you feel the weight of the expectation that you've placed on them or the situation start to fall down, or maybe the expectation they've placed on you. Imagine shaking it off, maybe dusting yourself off or pulling it out of your body, returning any heaviness to earth, wiping your hands, letting it fall to earth. And just telling this person or the situation what your intention is, what your heart wants. How do you want to feel? What's true for you without any imposition on their free will? Just speaking from the heart. And imagine them just hearing it and acknowledging and seeing you without deciding or doing as you need. But imagine just even that feeling of allowing your innermost self to be witness start to bring softness to you and peace. And then imagine them saying, their innermost truth, intention to you. And you just getting to receive it. And almost like you get to give them a blessing of full permission to do what they need to do. That you love them no matter what. And then imagine putting your hands together with this other person, or maybe it's just like your hands together with this certain situation. If you personify the situation, and just saying the Ho'oponopono prayer together of I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry for any expectation I placed on you, please forgive me for how this weighed you down or imposed on your radical sovereignty, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, Thank you. Feeling the weight fall to the earth, and when you look at them in your mind's eye, almost seeing a reflection of what becomes possible, the freedom, the expansion on the other side of this acceptance. Almost like you're looking into a looking glass in their eyes. Of the possibility of the freedom without expectation. And then seeing it within them, seeing them in their power, and feeling seen in yours. And then bringing all of that power into your heart space, placing both hands on your heart, breathing into that, and exhaling. And then another inhale. Exhale, sending it down to your toes, up to the crown of your head. With so much deep trust that as you do what's best for you, you do what's best for everybody. As you vocalize your intention and cast it out, you can release any control of what happens after that. Taking another breath in. And exhale to open your eyes and to come back into this space. Wow. Powerful, guys. I hope that's given you so much peace and permission to do what you need to do to allow and accept what someone else has done. And then it's not to say, like, if someone's treating you poorly, to tolerate it, but it's just to communicate when you need to communicate, to trust in your own boundaries, to trust that, you will communicate as you need to, and that to trust even the people that love you the most ultimately need to do what's best for them. And that's what we want in unconditional love. And it might feel at the time that it's not best for us, but as it shakes out, it usually always turns out that as we do what's best for ourselves, we do what's best for everyone, because then we fill our cup to 100% and we can be that for other people and for what we're meant to do in this world. Isn't that so funny? Like, it's something that I tell my clients all the time. It's something that I really live by, but Burning Man and like my situation with my husband after continued to reveal deeper layers with me. And this is what I was just talking about with my friend Angel. It's like we're never healed, we're never fully done. And even lessons that we have learned and learned on an embodied level before, sometimes we need to be reminded of them, revisit them, or continue to peel back layers on a deeper level. So it was a good reminder of, like, Meredith, stay in your student mode, stay curious, like, don't judge yourself for this happening again, or being like, oh, I already healed this. Like, that's exactly, again, what I like tell my clients not to do, but to like remain curious and be like, okay, it's coming up again because I need to be reminded of it. Life is a journey of remembering. It's coming up again because there's more to teach me. There's a new layer to peel back here. It's coming up again because this learning is about to serve me in a big way. So I welcome this learning. I welcome this discomfort. I welcome this, like musing that might feel uncomfortable now, but it's a springboard for my growth. Okay, guys, I hope that was as powerful for you as it was for me. Let me know what you're releasing expectation over. Let me know how that's shifting your day, and let me know what other powerful stuff episodes you want to hear, what musings are coming up for you, what you'd like me to do a deep dive on. And if this episode was helpful and you would like to rate, review, or subscribe, that would mean the absolute world to me, or send it to a friend who you think it could help release some expectation around. And also, if you're interested in going on a deeper journey and tapping into your powerful stuff and living from this place of curiosity and confidence, you can email me at themeredithbaker.com. I'm about to open my next cohort for the upgrade, my group coaching program, which I'm super excited about. And I also work with people one-on-one and companies taking powerful stuff to the corporate world. What? Okay. All of that's to say, lots of ways we can get deep into it, roll up our sleeves, get more powerful stuff going. And regardless, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next week for more powerful stuff. Hey, you. Thank you for coming on this powerful journey with me. I hope it was as powerful for you as it was for me. And if it was, it would mean the world to me if you rate, review, and subscribe to Powerful Stuff so I can keep bringing you the goods. We can keep going on this transformative journey together. And if there's powerful stuff that you want to share with me, with the Powerful Stuff community, tag us on Instagram at That's Powerful Stuff or The Meredith Baker. And I look forward to seeing you next week for more powerful